What would you do if the world judged you by the clothes on your back, never bothering to see the heart beneath? In the crowded streets of Harbor City, where neon lights flickered and the hum of ambition never ceased, a boy named Eli walked with his head held high, though his clothes told a different story. His jacket, a hand-me-down from a thrift store, hung loose on his narrow shoulders, its cuffs frayed and its color dulled by years of wear. His sneakers, once white, were now a patchwork of scuffs and holes, the soles flapping with every step. To the passers-by, he was invisible or worse, a target. School was no kinder. Classmates snickered behind their hands, their whispers sharp as knives. "Look at Rags," they'd say, their laughter echoing in the halls. But Eli's eyes, bright and unyielding, held a secret they couldn't see. Eli was 15, with a wiry frame and a face that carried both youth and an aching maturity. He lived in a cramped apartment on the edge of the city with his mother, Lila, who worked double shifts at a diner to keep the lights on. His father had vanished years ago, leaving behind only debts and a void that Eli filled with quiet determination. Every morning, he walked 2 miles to school, his backpack heavy with secondhand textbooks and a single peanut butter sandwich. He didn't complain. Complaining wouldn't change the rent notices piling up or the way his stomach growled at night. Instead, he dreamed off a future where his mother could rest, where he could be more than the boy in ragged clothes. At school, the mockery was relentless. The popular kids, with their crisp sneakers and designer bags, made a game of it. They'd toss pennies at his feet, daring him to pick them up. "Charity for the poor kid," they'd jeer. Eli ignored them, his jaw tight, but each word chipped away at him. Still, he kept his grades up, acing tests despite the distractions, his pencil scratching late into the night under a flickering bulb. His teachers noticed his potential, but rarely intervened when the taunts grew loud. They assumed he'd tough it out like kids do. But Eli wasn't just tough, was carrying a weight no one else could see. One gray afternoon, as rain streaked the city's concrete, Eli was walking home from school, his jacket soaked and clinging to his skin. The usual crowd of tormentors had followed him out, their voices loud with mockery. "Hey, Rags, where'd you get that coat?" "The dumpster." Their laughter rang out as they tossed a crumpled soda can his way. Eli kept walking, eyes fixed on the cracked sidewalk, until a sleek black car pulled up beside him. The window rolled down, revealing a man in a tailored suit, his silver hair catching the dim light. The man's eyes, sharp but kind, locked onto Eli's. The boys behind him froze, their jeers fading into awkward silence. "You," the man said, his voice calm but commanding. "What's your name?" Eli hesitated, then answered softly, "Eli." The man stepped out of the car, unfazed by the rain, and extended a hand. "I'm Marcus Kane." The name meant nothing to Eli, but the boys behind him gasped. Marcus Kane was a legend in Harbor City, a businessman who'd risen from nothing to build a tech empire, his face on every billboard. Why was he talking to Eli? Marcus didn't look at the others. His focus was on the boy in the tattered jacket. "I've seen you before," he said. "Every day, walking this street. Head up, no matter what they throw at you." "What?" Eli's throat tightened. He wasn't used to being seen, not like this. "I just keep going," he mumbled. Marcus nodded, as if he understood something Eli didn't. "Come with me," he said, gesturing to the car. The boys gaped, their faces a mix of envy and disbelief. Eli, unsure but drawn to the man's quiet authority, followed. They drove to a small cafe, where Marcus ordered coffee and asked Eli to tell his story. Haltingly, Eli shared pieces of his life, his mother's endless shifts, the apartment with its peeling walls, the way he studied by candlelight when the power was cut. He didn't mention the bullying. He didn't need to. Marcus's eyes seemed to see it all. Then came the twist no one could have predicted. Marcus leaned forward, his voice low. I know what it's like to be you, Eli. 30 years ago, I was the kid in the worn-out shoes, laughed at, invisible. But someone saw me, and now I see you. Eli's heart raced. This wasn't just a chance encounter. Marcus pulled out his phone and showed Eli a grainy image of a boy, maybe 12, in clothes as ragged as Eli's, standing in front of a crumbling tenement. That's me, Marcus said. And the man who changed my life was a teacher who gave me a chance to prove myself. He paused, his gaze steady. I've been watching you, Eli. Not just today. I've seen your name on scholarship applications, your grades, your essays. You're not invisible to everyone. The cafe door jingled, and a woman stepped in, her face weary but warm. It was Lila, Eli's mother, summoned by a call from Marcus's assistant. She froze, seeing her son with the city's most powerful man. Marcus stood, offering her a seat. Mrs. Carter, he said, your son is extraordinary. I want to offer him a place in my foundation's mentorship program, a full scholarship, tutoring, and a path to college. Lila's eyes filled with tears, her hands trembling as she gripped Eli's. For the first time in years, hope felt real. But the story didn't end there. The next day at school, word of Marcus Kane's interest in Eli spread like wildfire. The same kids who'd mocked him now stared in silence, their pennies and taunts forgotten. Eli, though, didn't gloat. He walked the halls as he always had, head high, but now with a spark in his eyes. Then came another Surprizia girl named Sarah, quiet and often overlooked herself, approached him at lunch. I saw what happened, she said, her voice soft but firm. I've been where you are. My daddy's gone too. I just wanted you to know you're not alone. Sarah's words, simple but sincere, cracked something open in Eli. He'd never noticed her before, but now he saw a kindred spirit, someone who understood the weight of being unseen. Weeks later, at a city gala hosted by Marcus's foundation, Eli stood in a new suit, not flashy, but fitted, a gift from the program. He was there to accept his scholarship, his mother beaming beside him. The crowd, filled with Harbor City's elite, listened as Marcus told Eli's story, not just the hardship, but the resilience, the quiet strength that had carried him through. This boy, Marcus said, his voice booming, is proof that worth isn't in what you wear, but in what you carry inside. The room erupted in applause, and Eli, for the first time, felt seen not as rags, but as himself. Sarah was there too, invited by Eli. She stood at the edge of the crowd, her smile small but proud. As the night ended, Eli found her, and they talked not about the past, but about the future, about dreams they hadn't dared voice before. Marcus watched from distance, a faint smile on his face. He'd given Eli a chance, but it was Eli's heart, and now Sarah's friendship, that would carry him forward. In the end, Eli's story wasn't just about rising above mockery or escaping poverty. It was about the power of being seen, truly seen, by someone who believed in you and by those who, like Sarah, reminded you that you were never as alone as you thought. The world could judge a boy by his clothes, but it was his courage and the unexpected connections he forged that wrote his real story.